decided to do a short film this time because I wasn't a big fan of doing the trailers in the preliminary task, and I don't really find filming very easy. I'm quite keen on like drawing and that kind of thing, so I thought I would try doing an animation instead. Some conventions of short films. There's normally one or two main characters, and this is mainly because there isn't really enough time to introduce like a whole cast or anything, because it would just get too complicated. Again, that would link in with like simple storylines. It wouldn't have a really complicated story, it'd just have like a really simple idea, like an everyday task, like someone catching a bus, or a story of like friendship or something. And the majority of short films include a soundtrack or sound effects rather than dialogue, because again it's a lot easier just to narrate kind of an animated film with music. And the most conventional genre of short film would be comedy, because it's a lot easier to make a short film funny rather than like a romantic film, because again that would need a lot more of a build up to it. And short films can last anything up to 5 minutes long. And there's styles of animation. The first kind of animation that came out was just the general black and white Mickey Mouse cartoons. No, these are the wrong way around, because it would be Looney Tunes would come next, like full animation with all the colour, and then it became a lot more modernised with things like Rhubarb and Custard, which was a lot it was really different to Looney Tunes. It was a lot more wobbly, and you could tell that it was like drawn by hand, because sometimes the lines wouldn't meet up quite right. And this was a mood board of the different types of animation that I found. Again, it would start with like the black and white Mickey Mouse to like Looney Tunes, and before those I think there was Mr. Ben, which is like a paper animation, and it would all be hand drawn, and it would just be his legs that move rather than anything else, and the set would move behind him to look like it was walking. And then there would be like Snow White, which is the first animated film, and the Snowman, and then it moved on to be a lot more comic-like, with the like creation of The Simpsons and Family Guy. And my chosen genre and style, I would like to go for like a comedy, because again it's a lot easier to make a short film comical. I have a target audience of children from the age of 6, because it would be animated, and there aren't that many animated films or anything that are really appealing to adults. It would have no more than 3 characters. It would be more detailed than Rhubarb and Custard, and hopefully the lines would be less wobbly, so it's kind of halfway between sort of Looney Tunes and Rhubarb and Custard really. And this was an animation which I found that somebody else had made in like a university or something. long, so we'll stop it there. And I would try and make that sort of animation with the colour and things, but I wouldn't have a romantic story behind it, because I think that would be too hard to make in the time we've got. But I like how it is a romantic story, but it's also got like comical elements, which is quite conventional. My initial ideas, my original idea was to have an owner of a dog which buys a cat which gets all the attention. The dog becomes jealous and tries to find ways to get rid of the cat, but with like the stereotypes of cats being quite posh, I was going to switch that one around, and it would be that the owner buys a puppy which is like really interested in the cat, and the cat just doesn't want anything to do with it, and the puppy could be kind of really playful and want to be friends with it, and it could have like quite a few comedy things that could happen, like the cat could make the dog run out of the cat flap and then it could shut it after it so it can't come back in. And then my first idea was that a character, I'm not sure what it would be, but it could go on a visit to a zoo and meet some of the animals, and each one could do something different, like penguins could slide about on ice, and then it could be watching like fish in a fish tank, and a shark could swim past and it could get really frightened. And then my final idea was about a bird learning to fly, because I've seen something quite similar on like CBBC like a long time ago, and it's about like a little bird and different things would happen to it. Try and make something similar to that, and it would like try and think of different ways to fly, so it could fall the first time, and then it could have like a leaf which is a parachute, and it could have like the little helicopter seed pods that spin round and round. It could hold onto one of those and get really dizzy or something. But I've now decided that I would go with the idea about the cat and the dog, because I think that's got the most scope for like a popular story, and it could be produced into like a series where different storylines could happen. And that's it.
Thanks.